Hi there, welcome to Outdoors Brews and Barbecue. This is your host Carlos. I'm here today with our guest
Hyro. What up?
and today we're going to be covering some beers, a backpack, and potentially a good recommended barbecue for your home or everyday use, depending on how much you like to grill. Start off with today, I'm going to start off with beer round one because Hyro got me here started a little early.
Oh, you know it's...
All right. So first beer we're introducing today in our podcast is Miami 305 by MIA Beer Co. Miami 305 is a light, crisp session gold ale brewed with a touch of West Coast hops. The finish is dry and clean. Now, let's put into this podcast that none of these beers were provided to me by the brewery. I did go pick these up. They were not free beers. But by all means, let's give them a taste and let's see what we got.
Cheers.
Cheers, sir. So just pouring the beer into the cup right off the bat, I do smell that nice crisp scent to the beer. Its name definitely goes with its look. It is definitely a golden ale, without a doubt. I don't think I've ever pissed this gold. But let me go ahead and put it here in front of the camera for you guys so you guys can have an idea of what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's
let me back this up because I'm way too close. All right, nice and gold. And that is the MIA 305 Golden Ale. Now, as we taste it here, it's definitely a crisp.
Ooh,
it's got a crisp touch to it. It's crispy. Not crispy like Rice Krispie. But it's definitely a refreshing beer.
Definitely not as sweet either.
No, it's not as sweet as I thought it would be. But it's not bad. I could have this beer. I think I pretty much with any sort of burger, chicken.
Definitely a burger.
I think like a burger and hot dog would be like the first two options I would go with.
4th of July, definitely.
This is a 4th of July scenario beer. And again, MIA 305 is the name of this one, the MIA 305 Golden Ale.
I feel like I should be having a cigarette with this too. For some reason, I don't smoke cigarettes. I feel like I need one with it. Maybe a cigar with it.
I'll join you on the drinking part of that equation. I am not a smoker though, so I wouldn't mind the smell of
I do like a cigar.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Actually, this wouldn't be bad with a cigar.
I would probably rather be having this beer next to someone smoking a cigar than someone smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, I felt like Miami because we got those 305 cigarettes.
305 cigarettes? Oh, so you gotta match beer. You gotta match the beer to go with this pack of cigarettes. All right, okay, I can see that. I
definitely could have this with straight up a cigar, nice mild cigar, uno de esto, a burger. After you eat the burger,
if you had to match this though to like a seafood dish, what would you go with?
Seafood. I think this would go good with like calamari.
That's exactly what I had in my head. Was like a nice fried calamari.
Mm-hmm.
And having this beer as a refresher right there by the edge of the beach or the edge of like a sandbar type scenario.
Oh hell yeah! Yes. Out Biscayne.
Mm-hmm.
That
not bad. I think I would probably rebuy this beer and have this as a store in the fridge for when I'm probably going to grill something outside in the yard.
Mm. So you have it right there next to you. Yeah, this is definitely good grilling beer.
Mm-hmm. I do also like their design on the can. The can kind of matches our good old...
It has that Vice City.
That Vice, Miami Vice type nightlife.
That's actually what I'm doing to my car. Put it like a nice Vice City. Like it's going to be that blue and pink.
Oh, what's funny is that when I went to look up this beer, right, to get a little bit more information on it before we started talking about it today, I couldn't find the beer at first because it seems like they just switched out the colors of the can.
Yeah. It was yellow and blue apparently.
So it was apparently yellow and blue. So when I was looking for a yellow and blue, a black and the Miami Vice type colors on their website, I was like, "Yo, where's this beer at? I can't find this beer." And so then I started going by the name, and then once I saw the name, I was like, oh, this is the beer. And then I saw the dramatic change in design. between the former colors and the current colors now.
I do love the Vice City color. That definitely way better than that.
I mean, and then they put
yellow and
if
blue.
you really look at the can detail, it kind of represents, the sunrise of downtown Miami. Yeah.
Sunrise, sunset.
Because you got the whole the
you got the city line.
building, the city line right there, and then you got the
I didn't
sun
even notice
rays.
that until like when you said that. Yeah. Ooh.
So
like that.
not only did they put the Miami Vice type style into it, but they kind of put like the city view of it with the sun rising right behind it. So I think they definitely got creative on the design of the new can.
They got a little fancy on us.
Yeah. They confused me there for a second because I couldn't find their information. But
now we take a sip out of the can. See,
let me take a sip out of the can again just so I can, have another taste of the beer.
Because like drinking from a cup compared to the can does actually change a little bit, like the taste. But now I'm actually having it out of the can, like it's because it is a can. Like it gives it a little more like kind of like a not tinge, like a tingle of like metal, like a little metal. Like
yeah, it gives it a little taste.
But it doesn't mean it's a bad
to
thing.
The tin
Like
can. But that's also something you notice when you're drinking out of a bottle, right?
Yeah,
when you're drinking
I
out of a
love
bottle.
drinking out of a bottle.
I love drinking out of a bottle. I think, and even better than that, if you want to make the equation even better, than just taking it right out of tap.
Yeah.
When you're having draft, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Right. But you are right. When you are drinking it out of the can, it does give it that little tin touch at the end there. That's apart
it's not
from
bad. Sometimes, like, because some of the beers, I think, like when you drink them out of the can, they don't taste as bad as you would like. I'm thinking in the sense you can have them in like a cup like we did right now, but sometimes from the can directly because of that metal taste, like it actually adds to the flavor of it. I know it sounds weird, but like, some do. Like,
well, to this beer is not that bad. To this beer,
I kind of like it out of the can more.
To this beer, that can taste gives it a little pinch at the end that adds a different flavor to it, and it doesn't really damage the flavor of the beer overall. I have tasted other beers though that can flavor at the end completely nukes out the rest of the beer.
That's sometimes, and that's you're like.
And then at that point, you just don't want to continue drinking what's remaining in the can because it tastes
because that one they want you to drink it from the cup. Like it's some making us like we want you to pour it out. We want you to directly drink it. Some are like no, it's meant to like chill. You throw it into your cooler. You go to the beach. You pull it out. You drink from there because you're not pulling out a cup at the beach unless you're drinking like your rum mixed with something. Like that's when you start pulling out the cups.
You're right. But again, this is the MIA Beer Co. 305 Golden Ale beer here locally in Doral, Miami, Florida.
Mijami.
It does have, let me see, this is, for the flavor of it, I would have not thought it was only 5%. I would have thought it was a slight pinch over that.
No, I could taste it as 5%.
5%
Because it doesn't have that, because there's those sneaky ones that are over, like they'll be like 8, 9%, 10%, but they don't taste like them, but they still taste a little higher. This one I feel like it tastes at the level of 5. Like I take a couple sips, like I don't feel like I'm gonna be like, woo, I'm gonna throw this bottle right across someone's head. Like
nah, we ain't there yet, bro. We ain't there yet.
Like this is like drinking. I was like, no, it's something you chill with, you relax with, you have a few of them, and you just stay tranquilito.
You just stay there chilling like a villain.
Mm-hmm. With a bit of take it easy.
Take it easy. Cógelo con take it easy.
Cógelo con take it easy. Yeah, we're just straight up drinking this. I can't put it down.
I can't put it down. I actually liked it. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't had this one in a minute, and if I was to
look I've never had this one, so it's a great surprise.
If I was to look this up and see if I've ever tasted it before today, what would I have probably rated this the last time I tasted it?
You're bringing up the Untapped app.
I'm looking up the Untapped app here. A nice little app to have on your iPhone if you like rating or logging beers that you've tasted. I've been using this app now for about, I would say 3-4 years.
Yeah, you got me on that.
I have not tasted this beer before.
Really?
So this is a first tasting here tonight in this scenario.
You heard it here, folks. First tasting.
Let's take a little picture here of the MIA 305 Golden Ale. We're going to go ahead and log this onto the Untapped app.
I really gotta get better at using the app. That.
All right. Again, peeps, I'm not sponsored in any way by Untapped or MIA Beer Co. This is just a taste, enjoy, and drink type scenario.
Taste, enjoy, drink.
But now that I have the app open, let me just give you guys a little visual explanation of what the app may look like in case that you are interested. The application does have a search bar as you open it up. You look up the beer you're tasting. It'll then if it pops up immediately, it'll take you over to the beer. It'll show you its logo on the top left, followed by a potential photo window on the right where you can add a photo of the beer you're taking or tasting. It gives you an area where you can put some brief comments. So I'm going to put here crisp, refreshing taste. Great for accompanying a burger or a hot dog. And how are you using this app before, right?
I have. That's why I keep forgetting to use it every time. I always think of every time I drink. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bring it out right now. And then you know me, you see me drinking. I focus too much on the drink.
You're right. The drink
and not to say like it's just, I just forget about it because I don't use my technology as much as I should be. I'm always like I'll put on with my phone or I'll leave it on the table and then instead I'll grab the drink, I keep drinking it, and then I won't remember till like I'm done or I'm leaving. I'm like, crap, I forgot to take the photo of a beer. I forgot what beer I had, which sucks. And then I'm
I've gone places with a wife and she looks at me and is like, what are you taking a photo of that can for? So because I just tasted it here, and later on, if I remember, that again is if I remember, I need to go onto the Untapped app so I can put it on there and I can rate what I thought about the beer if I remember what the beer even tasted like by the time we make it that far into the afternoon. Right? So on the app, it allows you to rate the beer by every 25%. So if it's a horrible beer, you can rate this beer 0.25, or you can rate it as high as a 5.0. In this case scenario, in today's scenario with 305, MIA 305, the Golden Ale, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a 3.75.
That's not a bad one. I was thinking like 3.5, but 3.75, yeah.
And then it asks us serving style. So serving style here was out of a can. Location of purchase is the next option. It does ask you. In this case scenario, I can say I got it at Total Wine because that was where I picked this up at. And then the next final on the bottom here is flavor profile, right? So it's light, it's clean. It definitely has a sweet touch to it.
Yes.
There is a slight little hoppy bit to it also.
But it's not too bad. That's what I like.
It's definitely not as hoppy as an IPA, but it does have a slight hop, right? Which is, I guess, is what it gives it that crisp, refreshing flavor.
Yes.
Right. And then it is definitely also a little fruity, I would say. You taste that little fruit flavor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it hits you, for me, it hits me like about like the back of my tongue. A bit. Like a little at the tip and a little at the back.
All right. Let's finish this check-in for the MIA 305 Golden Ale. Through this app, guys, you also get some little minor award badges here and there. So just to keep your enthusiasm going with how to use the app. But next on here, we're going to be moving over to a accessory of the day here for our outdoors section of the conversation. Accessory of the day here is the Rush 12 24-liter backpack by 511. The Rush 12 is a everyday carry backpack. I kind of use it for everyday work. Take my iPad in it, my laptop. If I'm on vacation, I'll probably put my SLR in there with maybe a medium-sized lens and maybe a water bottle if we're out for a walk. It does have a rear pocket where you can put a hydration pack on the rear with the ability to pull a straw right out of the side over the sleeve. It does have 5 different colors available, including the camo option. It also has a MOLLE webbing exterior, so you can put attachments onto the backpack. It's got a front top zippered pocket, so you can put something small like your cell phone or your keys. On the very top, it has a fleece-lined eyewear media pocket, so you can put it in a pair of shades or a pair of glasses, depending on which one of the two you may be using, supposing you have both. And then it does have a padded laptop sleeve with dual mesh pockets in the main compartment, So if you want to carry a laptop, but you want to have it a little slightly padded, you can slide the laptop right in, as well as having those zippered pockets to put any chargers, wires, or accessories. Behind the front compartment, you do have a hidden concealed carry weapon compartment where you can just grab on the little loop, pull it forward, and it opens up that main pocket where you can just go ahead and store away your concealed weapon.
I love that.
I didn't know about that pocket honestly until one day out of curiosity. I grabbed on the little loop on behind the front pocket. And I was like, "What the heck is this for, bro?"
Oh.
And I grabbed on the loop and I just pulled back.
Well, then it just popped.
And I was like, "Man, did I just rip a hole in this bag?" That's what I was thinking in my head. And then I kind of dug into it a little bit. And I was like,
"Wow,
it
so
has
it's like
no
basically like."
Exactly, it's up here on the
for
front.
me. I got my little PPK, so.
Again, mine's first generation. So for me, that pocket that I'm referring to is actually on my other backpack, not on this one. This is generation 1.0. The one that's available now on the website, and that's why I'm talking about it, is the 2.0. Every other feature I've explained on there is common between the two as far as the MOLLE webbing, the 24 liters. They're both the same size. The additional add-ons were the concealed weapon compartment on the front, as well as the laptop padded compartment on the inside, right? But the compartments on the inside, as far as zippering up any wires or any accessories, that's also part of first generation, as well as the rear hydration compartment where you can put a water pack in there and just pull the straw right over the sleeve. So again, guys, that's the Rush 12 2.0 backpack 24 liter. That's kind of the one that we're talking about today. But the one that I have here by my side is the first generation, not this 2.0. But if you do go on 511tactical.com, you will see that the one they have on the website now is the Rush 12 2.0 backpack 24 liters. All right. All right, man. I think I'm ready for that second beer. You?
I'm always ready for number 2.
You always ready for number 2?
Number 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can keep going.
All right,
so what do we have coming up? What's the next one?
So next beer I brought here into the equation today, again from the same beer company. So it's MIA Beer Co. I chose their beer called Neon, like the neon colors, right?
Neon.
Because we got a bunch of neon colors here in Miami. In every sense of that phrase.
Yes.
Tell me how you're right on that.
You're right.
Tell me how you're right on that.
You said, I was like, yeah. Like, almost everywhere you go, there's always some type of freaking neon.
Today alone, as it was, man, I was walking to the parking garage and I'm walking out the door from work, and I passed by this lady wearing neon pink shirt. So
but you see me, sometimes I got some neon colors going on.
Yeah, I've seen, but hear me out. Hear me out on this one. She's wearing a neon pink shirt. She's wearing some black wannabe like capri pants.
Wannabe capri. Damn.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious to see how this looks.
And then it's like these green shoes that looks like they were prepping for St. Patty's. Because it wasn't even a neon green. It was like good old like
pink, black, green.
Pink.
So like neon pink, black.
And some St. Patty green shoes on the bottom. But
I don't know.
Where'd you get your fashion designer at, bro? Because that you got no color orientation set up here.
Maybe it was laundry day. That's
sure. We can go with that excuse. Why not? All right, let's pull out these 16-ounce cans here for Neon IPA by MIA Beer Co.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. So for any of you that are hearing it on podcast, IPA, the initials IPA stand for Indian Pale Ale.
HIPAA.
No, it's not HIPAA. HIPAA is a different scenario. All right. Unless there's a sort of beer that you want to call Holy Indian Pale Ale, we can then bring HIPAA into the equation.
Holy Indian Pale Ale. I'd love that.
Hey,
wait,
man.
hold on.
If that's what you like, let me call up a priest so we can,
He'll bless it.
He'll bless it real quick, and then we can call this a HIPAA.
We have a HIPAA.
Neon HIPAA.
We don't have an
But
IPA.
no,
We
this
have a HIPAA now.
This is again Neon IPA by MIA Beer Co. Also located here in Miami, Florida. Let's pour these into a cup so we can take a look at what color orientation may we be experiencing from this beer.
Love that sound.
Oof. That opened up so much nicer than the first can. So just off the sound alone,
Look at that. Oof. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
again, the first one we had was a golden ale. So as you take a look at the colors of this one, you can kind of take a visual aspect out of it. It's got a much more yellowish tone to it. It's not as golden orange as you saw in the first one.
This one's more kind of like, what's the word? It feels like, I was gonna say musky, but that's a smell. But it's like it gives me like a marshy kind of feel, like a light marsh, like a golden marsh.
You can definitely smell the hops in it, though. It's definitely a hoppier beer than the first one.
Yeah, but the smell, it is musky. Like that.
Man, as long as the smell ain't musty.
No, not musty. Musky.
Musky. All right.
I didn't say musty. Oh, no one wants any.
You didn't say husky neither, right?
No, not a.
Because then I don't want to be drinking beer with hairballs.
Husky beer.
Husky beer? All right.
That'll be our future brand.
Hey, you never know. You never know. All right, so Neon IPA is a 7.2 APV. It's a juicy, hoppy, citrusy beer. A white IPA brewed with a Pilsner malt, white wheat, hopped exclusively with citra hops that yields a strong yet smooth floral and citrus aroma and flavor.
Yes.
It definitely have the aroma. The aroma is definitely there.
Yeah, the floral and fruit, like you can definitely, like I felt like that's what like the whole. You see, now I was about to say musty because you said it earlier. But the musky is probably the mixture of the fruit and floral. So it's like it's I don't want to say it's overbearing in the sense that it knocks you out, but it's like it you smell it and it's very impactful.
It's definitely,
but not in a bad way. Like it's like ooh, like it's like a good, like, you know, someone got a good cologne on, something that smells like, you smell it, you're like, oh, wait a minute.
How do you feel about the taste though?
With the taste, hold on. See, I was too busy smelling it.
Right. The smell, I think the smell, at least to me, in my opinion, and let's, over the last 2 years, I would say I've tasted almost over 160 different IPAs. Due to the pandemic and everything else we had in between.
Only.
But that's specifically just on IPAs. That doesn't mean that, I've tasted already over 600 different beers. I'm not an expert at beers, but I have pleasure in tasting the beers and trying to see what I taste out of them.
Connoisseur.
Bit of a beer connoisseur, as you can see. But the aroma that I'm getting out of this beer definitely gave me expectations that I feel weren't 100% there when I tasted it.
I don't even know why I did the whole lip smacking. I apologize. But with this one, like, it has this, like, the way it kind of like disappears. Like, you have a sip, it's supposed to be an IPA, but it doesn't smack you. Like, most people don't like IPAs because they're talking about it's too hoppy. I don't like the aftertaste. This one just kind of, you drink it and it just kind of, you don't get that aftertaste as much. It just kind of disappears in the back of your tongue. It just goes shh. Kind of like, I guess the best way is to make a sound. Like, it's like shh.
Well, I definitely get what you're saying. You're describing the aftertaste, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because as you take the beer into your mouth, you have that intake taste, and then you have that breathe out taste.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get hoppy on both of them, then something happened wrong with that beer.
Yeah.
But if you're able to go ahead and take it in, and you feel that hoppiness only on the intake and not on the breathe out part, on the exhale part, it's not a bad IPA. But it is that I definitely feel the hoppiness when I take it in.
Yeah, your face just you're like, oh, see, I don't get the hoppiness as much. Like, it's just, for me, like it has hoppiness. It's just not as strong. And this is from the cup, so we're drinking from the cup. Like,
so now I'm going to taste it from the can, and I'm going to see how different of a taste do I get from this juicy, hazy IPA from MIA Beer Co. called Neon. I mean, I kind of see the neon colors on the casing. I think they could have smacked on a couple more colors.
Yeah, the 305 can definitely just
305 definitely
the black
me.
makes everything pop, and that's why the Vice City colors always look great. Or this would being white, blue, green, orange, like splattered. It's neon, but I feel like black, it should have been
I feel like this is definitely a beer I would probably enjoy taking from the can and not from a cup.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Can actually is a lot better.
that tin flavor actually helps out.
So I feel like the little tin flavor.
From
So
the
you know how I
can.
was talking about earlier that like, hey, look, it doesn't. I don't get that aftertaste. Like it's just kind of like just like, kind
Right.
of disappears when you drink it from the can. Definitely gives me that aftertaste now. Like that, I feel like the tin just adds to it. Like it's like, but it's not a bad thing. Like either way, but it is.
No, I feel like this is something I would also match up with some fried calamaris, maybe some fried shrimp.
Ooh, some shrimp. I was thinking more like maybe a grilled shrimp.
You can do grilled shrimp too.
Yeah, some grilled shrimp. Ooh, shrimp on the Barbie.
Yeah, put them on a little wood stick.
Mm,
Put it right there on the barbecue.
That you're always making me hungry, man.
Some shrimp kebab.
It's like hopefully we could maybe the next barbecue you talk about.
Maybe I can
We'll go
actually
probably with
bring the
this.
dish in for the next barbecue instead of talking about what flavors you can compare it with. I see Chin over here nodding his head. Chin's our audio recorder on the other end here.
Man with the master plan.
The man behind the controls. He's like, when the heck are you gonna bring me a piece of your barbecue?
He definitely agrees with that comment.
Yeah, I saw him nodding that head.
He's waiting. He's waiting for it. Like, what else? Do you get any other flavors out of this? Any extras? Like for me, I feel like that aftertaste does kick in with the tin with it. But do you get anything else from
I think
it?
the same floral aroma and the citrusy taste that I'm getting in it when I smell into the cup are kind of the same aftertaste that I'm experiencing after I drink it out of the can. I don't feel like I was really experiencing that out of the cup after I drank it.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely the aroma that I smelled though after we served it into the cup. But
Yeah.
it wasn't, the taste wasn't matching the aroma.
Yeah,
On
and I
that
feel like
first
out of the can, like that's what you just said. Exactly how I was like, what do you feel? I was like, because I was like, when I was drinking it, like gave you the aftertaste, and then you really get that floral, citrusy vibe coming out of it.
Right.
I feel like that's what the aftertaste was. That's what I was saying. The aftertaste is now kicking in with the can. So I feel like if you're drinking it from a cup, like the way we were right now, kind of loses some of it. It flattens it out a bit, not in a bad way, but not as strong
And
as you
again,
drink it from the can directly.
when we served it into the cup and you looked at the color of the beer, it doesn't look that dense really for an IPA.
No.
It looks, at first when I looked at it, it was like almost comparing it to a lager as far as the color orientation.
Yeah.
Right. Again, it's not a lager though.
No.
It's an IPA with a slight
Don't
hoppy
worry, you'll get a few lagers on here.
You'll get a few lagers on here eventually. There may be very few of them. Because I don't deep dive that far into the lager family.
Oh, I feel like we should.
we could by all means. But I feel like the lagers are, as far as me enjoying a taste in a beer, there are not many lagers out there that I can say have that enjoyment of the flavor for me. They're definitely refreshers. That's definitely what they are. And some lagers have an additional minor after kick to it that go great with whatever dish you may be eating.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But to me, most of all the lagers are really light.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
They're light.
Very light.
If you like your beer light, take this lager.
Sounds like you got a song going on there, Hyro.
Yeah, I have.
Definitely got a song coming up there. All right, guys. While we transition here, let me give you guys a minor barbecue tip and trick. As far as a barbecue recommendation,
Just to let you know, this is where we're going to cook everything on.
this is what I have been using and abusing the crap out of for the last 4.5 years.
You definitely have.
I would recommend this barbecue to pretty much anybody. Someone who's trying to get their, barbecue interest started. This gives you the best out of both sides of the world in the barbecue side. It is called the Char Griller 50/50 series. It does come already with a side stove. So if you have something you want to fry outside, like a good, frying of a fish. You don't want your house to stink up for the rest of the afternoon. You can go ahead outside and you can activate that gas stove on the side and fry that fish outside and let the natural air take the scent.
That's perfect.
Right.
People complain about fried fish.
You know it. And right to the right of that, because we are looking at the barbecue from the front, right? So typically the fryer or the gas stove itself is to the far left. Right to the right of that, you have the main gas chamber. So if you do want to do something quick, because you got friends or family coming over, and you want to put a couple of chicken wings or a couple of chicken drumsticks, chicken breasts, whatever it may be, or some steaks, you can just go ahead and activate the gas chamber, and you can proceed forward with starting that up and cooking it out until they're ready to roll. Now, jumping to the right side of this barbecue, we are now talking about the charcoal section. This is my section. The wife likes to use the gas section. All right, she needs something quick to get the thing rolling. She activates the gas and she fries up whatever it is that she's gonna fry. She uses the gas stove outside. But when it comes to actually barbecuing, in my opinion, it's wood and charcoal 100%. Right. So now we're jumping over to the right side of the barbecue. And the right side of the barbecue, unless you buy the extension to it, which I also have on mine, it is the smoker extension, allowing just the one chamber to the right to become a dual chamber, where you put the wood and the charcoal to start up your fire to the extreme right on the small smoker section. Right, you put nothing in the main section other than the food. The heat will transmit from the side section into the main section, giving you a barrel heat of about, keeping it a steady 280 to 320. And you can pretty much smoke anything in there for hours. Or if you really want to smoke it for hours, you try to maintain, the goal would be to maintain it between a 180 and a 240, maybe 220, depending on what you're trying to smoke. Right. And if you get it to that temperature, then you just put the meat in there and you let it roll. And you just got to maintain the fire rolling and keep the wood in the smoker. As far as retail barbecue pricing for this hardware, if you get it without the extension, it'll probably run you somewhere between $250 and $275. If you get it with the extension of the smoker on the far right, you're looking somewhere around $350 to $375. Right. And you can probably find this model at your nearest Home Depot, your nearest Lowe's. In some occasion, you may even see it at Costco if you have a Costco near you.
That Costco discount.
But it's definitely a nice barbecue to have in the backyard, giving you a little bit of both worlds. As far as size, you're looking somewhere between 4.5 feet to 5 feet if you have the smoker attached, about 4 feet flat if you don't. In width, in height, it's about 4 feet tall. So if you're someone that measures 6.5 feet, it's a little on the low end.
6.5 feet.
Yeah.
We have big cookers out there. You gotta be barbecuers out here.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know.
Little for everyone.
If you're somewhere on the average height,
a lot.
It's not a bad height of a barbecue. Some barbecues out there are shorter than others, but this one has a decent height to it to fit the average need. It's got a chamber in the bottom to put the gas tank for the left side of the barbecue, being the gas side. And then it's got a little rack for you to be able to put a bag of charcoal, whatever, on that bottom area as well.
Question. Right. Do you know the length of it?
Length of it from left to right, or length of it from bottom to top?
No, not height, length.
Length from side to side, I would say, is about 4.25 feet.
Okay.
So it's not that bad.
Actually, that's not bad. Yeah. No, I just want to see, like the thing,
get an idea.
Exactly.
Dimensional ideas. Yeah. That's about 4.5 feet to 4 feet and a quarter.
So it's a good, okay.
Yeah. It's not like your average Weber that
be 6'5", is apparently.
It's not like your average Weber that would be about 22 inches in diameter, 24 inches in diameter, and on average about 4 feet 3 3/4 in height.
Okay.
They do all come matte black. So if you're looking for color options, Char Griller doesn't really make color options as
I don't feel like you should be
as a priority.
Too many color options, to be honest.
Plus, who the heck wants a white barbecue?
Do you know how much cleaning? I just think about how much the cleaning would be if you had
like a white barbecue. That just makes the visual aspect of the barbecue nastier.
Either stainless steel or black
as time goes along. All right. So they're mostly all matte black. And they're available at your local Home Depot, Lowe's, or Costco, somewhere out there. All right. Now transitioning over here to the next beer,
Yeah. So
because
now,
I'm already ready for the next beer.
oh, I'm always ready for the next beer.
All right.
Hi,
Next
my
beer
name's Hyro.
here
I'm here for
is.
the beer.
I don't know where I was looking for the beer for a second. I was looking over to my left, and the cooler's right in front of me.
I think the beer is affecting us.
Next beer here, also from MIA Beer Co. And this, I would have to
My
say,
favorite.
is definitely one of my favorite beers from MIA Beer Company. It is called the Tourist Trap. The name kind of goes with its side effects, I would say. All right.
Yeah, it's a perfect name for this beer.
They really thought this out as they named it.
Yes,
I ain't gonna lie.
Yes, and I love the color on it because it's orange, yellow, like it looks like with the whole mazy look on it. It's telling you're gonna get trapped because you're gonna be like, oh, and oof, I'm gonna say some stuff later.
If I'm not mistaken, you were the one that introduced me to this beer on a lunch one day, and as I tried this beer, I kind of sat back and reflected on other beers I had tasted prior to this, within the same classification family. This beer is a triple Belgian style beer, so triple Belgian style ale. It is called, again, the Tourist Trap. It is by MIA Beer Company. It is a 10% APV beer.
I love the numbers.
It's got a fruity, spicy yet strong attitude, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
This triple is brewed with blonde malts and a touch of candy sugar. It's fermented with Belgium Abbey yeast strains that imports fruit and spice yet soft, well-rounded esters.
Keep talking dirty to me.
This low-hopped brew is easy but I don't even know what that word is.
What?
On the palate. My bad.
On the palate. Oh,
yeah. It's brewed easy on the palate, but
this is how you know we
deceptively
are drinking on the
strong
job.
on the. You already know I'm 2 beers in at this point, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers. There's a cheers. This
one for sure has a cheers to it, and I think that this one is definitely on my top list of beers.
All right, so we're gonna pour it into our cups. See the beautiful, beautiful coloring on this. Oof! Look at.
Now, I would have loved to have put you 2 cups right in front of you, and kind of put the first beer we had.
You want to put yours on the side?
So we kind of could have. Let me put it in front of the camera here, so you guys have an idea what I'm talking about. As I put this beer down,
our viewers see this. I know some of you are listening to the podcast, but
if I would have really compared the 2 beers at the beginning and not left this one for last, you guys would have looked at me and said, "Didn't you already taste that beer?" Because if I didn't know what I just served into the cup, I would have easily confused this with the MIA 305 Golden Ale as far as the color.
Talking about golden, this right here.
It definitely has a golden attitude to its look. It definitely has a very nice scent to it as you smell it. It's definitely got that slight fruit aroma that it describes in the description.
Yeah.
And
so it definitely has.
I'm gonna taste
like
this thing.
this.
I don't know about you. Bro. I'm about to take this.
I'm definitely. I was waiting. Cheers.
It's got amazing aftertaste. It definitely has
this
that candy sugar that it describes, right? Like I feel like I probably had a. What candy can I compare this?
I normally, the way I explain it to most people, it's like, hey, it's like putting a caramel in your mouth.
You're right.
Like, cause like it has
I ain't gonna steal that from you. You're right.
From it.
I'll let you roll with that.
Smooth caramel. Like it's just keeps it's a gift that keeps giving, and it's amazing that a beer like this, it looks like this. This is why it's called the tourist trap. It's sneaky. You look at it, you don't think it's gonna be as strong as it is. You don't think it's gonna taste the way it does, and then what happens is that you drink it. And you're like, oh yeah, that was great. Let me have another. And then most people that don't drink much, floor.
Yeah, I mean,
I have seen it.
We both seen it. I've had family members that have drank this thing with me at family reunions, and they always have some, criticism to say about what beers I bring, because I'm not bringing what they want. What they want is their typical Heineken, their Corona, their
this is not your basic.
Their what's this other one that's very common? I'm missing out on right now. I'm having a brain
Corona.
fart. No,
you said Heineken, Corona, Bud Light,
Stella.
I do love me a Stella. Don't get me wrong. Stella with food. I do enjoy having a Stella.
Out of those
with
three,
some
you are right. I would probably go for the Stella before
I'll
any
put
of the other
Stella
two.
above those. Yeah, because I would rather get a Stella.
But as far as the
ones.
expectation in a Latin family, that is what is being expected of me to bring as a
I'm
companion.
glad I'm Dominican because we get to have presidentes. So.
Bro, that's a whole different beer I got.
Oh, we gotta have another conversation.
We're gonna have another conversation over that beer, because that beer, to me, if you're gonna give me that beer, it better be from DR. Don't give me that Presidente version that you get here in Miami.
You're right.
Right.
You're right. We'll hold this conversation for later. But yeah, I'm already.
Unless you got family that can import that for us for an episode.
Pablo, I'll ask a couple people like, yo, send us a couple packs.
I know that, and that also that's the same story.
And then a couple personally.
You're right.
I'll teach you how to make un frío.
Un frío. Now I'm curious of what is un frío.
Oh, we'll have this conversation.
Offline. All right. But if I really had to think back about this beer, there's very few beers in my list that I would probably compare to how much I enjoy that one. Right.
Yeah. This is I would have said this would be a beer that I'm glad we're starting your show with this. Definitely would have loved to have it maybe 50 episodes in, just really.
I mean, we
should come back. Just come back.
I think that what we could do down the road, 50 episodes in, if we make it to 50 episodes in, and knock on wood, hopefully we do. But maybe we can pull back and say, what beers after the last few episodes have we really enjoyed the most out of, and then let's bring all those.
This has been,
or at least 3 of those top rated beers into a single episode, so you critique all 3 of your top rated beers of the ones you enjoy.
This one, Tourist Trap has just been, I would say, just such a top for me because I've been drinking for so long, and this one has just always never has let me down. It has always been very consistent. It's delicious, fresh, very crisp. And I love that little caramel kind of taste that you get out of it. It's the full package. It's strong. It's not strong in the sense that it's overpowering.
Okay.
Because you don't really taste it. It's like, oh, you could drink it quickly. Because some people that don't know, that's the whole reason they fall over the floor. They're like, they could drink it like they could drink a Corona or drink a Heineken.
Don't get me wrong, bro. I've had that same experience myself. We had, another.
We all have.
We all have had that one moment where you tasted a beer and you liked it a whole lot, and not knowing the concept behind identifying different categories of beers and knowing the different tiers of alcohol levels per classification of beer can easily confuse someone that doesn't have a familiarity with what kind of beer they're tasting or drinking. So if they actually like the beer and they're 1, 2, 3 beers in a standard gathering and they don't know what kind of beer it is, it can either be one of 2 things. Either you chilling and you a little happy, or you just got kicked in the rear and you can't properly stand up without leaning on something.
This will give you both of those feelings. If you're a normal drinker, you'd be the first. If you're not, you're going to be the last.
You're right.
Oh, Now, out of the can, it definitely adds more bite to it.
It definitely, yes, you're right on that.
Like it does.
I definitely feel
it makes
that.
it more dangerous. Like actually, like now you can taste the danger of it having it out of the can directly. Not as bad because it's still smoother than most drinks, but you still taste
For
a little
such
like
a high
es
classification of a
peligroso.
beer in a can. I still think that out of a can, it is a smooth tasting beer.
Oh yeah, no,
It
it's
is
still
definitely
smooth. Very.
a smooth tasting beer, but
The warning comes out.
the warning is there. The warning's on the front of the label. The warning,
The warning is that it hits your lips and it's just like, hey, back palate. Just so you know, I'm not easy over here. I'm a little powerful, my friend.
And then again, peeps, there's beers out there that are even higher than this, right? As far as
very much.
APV level per serving.
But I'll say most don't have the smoothness of this. Like, cause you know me, I'm always looking out for that high APV.
Right. Oh, so am I.
But like when you get high, normally you can taste it. You can taste it. You know what you're drinking.
Yes.
This very tricky.
This one is tricky though, and there are others out there that I've had that are as high as this one, if not right on almost the same line.
Mm-hmm.
And they're tricky because they have that sweet floral and candy taste to it, that sugar taste,
exactly,
that
and
sweetness.
that's what makes it tricky.
I mean, there was one that I tasted once, and I will not forget that day. It was higher than this one as far as APV levels. The wife was sitting right next to me, and as I got up to throw away the bottle, I had to recalibrate before the next step.
Hey, that's to know you.
So you're
doing it right. You're doing it right.
and the flavor wasn't as smooth as this one, honestly. This one has a very smooth taste to it. Again, we're talking here about the Tourist Trap. It's a Belgian style triple by MIA Beer Co. Locally here in Miami. MIA. I am curious of the design though, man. I would like to probably dig further into the design of the can and understand why.
I was talking about earlier. You got that little maze going around it.
That's exactly
what the yellow,
what I was trying to
orange.
figure out.
No, that's exactly what it is. That's what I was saying. It's like it's
hold up.
letting you know
Is it a
what you're
legit maze? Can you actually draw your finger through this? No.
I've never done that. Now you got me. I don't think you can.
And I don't know if it's the beer that's taking effect over my brain right now, but I'm trying to figure out, is this an actual maze on the can?
No, I think it looks like slightly repeating pattern on it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slightly repeating pattern. But it did have me there for a second.
It's not bad. Like,
maybe if I was
because I always took it as a maze anyway.
And maybe if I was 2-3 cans in, it would be definitely looking like, where's the exit on this, man? I've been drawing my finger back.
You're already grabbing a Sharpie, trying to go through the can
trying to go through the maze that does not exist.
It's like, sir, you cannot leave this can. We're going to have to throw this out, sir.
Oh, man. But again, peeps, just to repeat the 3 names of the 3 beers covered on today's episode, they are all from the same beer company, which is MIA Beer Co. or Beer Company. They're located in Doral, Florida.
A local brewery in Miami.
Local brewery here in Miami. We went over 305 Golden Ale. We went over the Neon IPA by, again, same company. And then last but not least, we jumped into the Tourist Trap, jumping into the darker ale family, the triple Belgian style triple ale, having first one being the 305 Golden Ale having a 5% APV. Second one being the Neon IPA having a 7.2 APV. And last but not least, the Tourist Trap having a 10% APV.
I love how it just leveled like this.
Oh yeah, I did that intentionally. I started you off from the bottom.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the
as it should be. To be honest, they get someone to the high level.
It's like the cellar reception bars. You just got to keep on going higher. Yeah. But I think, unless you got anything else you want to say about that beer, Harold?
It's lovely.
It's lovely.
Everyone try it.
Everyone should try this beer out at least once.
If you don't like it,
you don't like it.
To be honest, it's like for a high APV beer. This is one that I would say most people would like, and most people don't like. At least like high APV. Like if you notice, most people drink them, they're like, but this is one that even I've brought to newcomers because they don't like tastes of most beers and stuff. I'm like, hold on, let me get you this one, and they taste it and they're like, oh, this is really good. And I always warn them, be careful. Don't drink that too fast. But it's one that definitely gets most people into that realm, that high realm. It's like, hey, look, there's a lot of possibilities in there,
and it opens up interest in them into trying different beers that they haven't tried before, right? Because everyone is so accustomed to trying the same typical beers over and over again at family reunions, the beers that you can find at pretty much any supermarket or any grocery store you go to, right? Versus some of these are slightly a little bit more unique. So you either have to go to the brewery themselves, or you can go to somewhere that sells a selection of beers around not only
some local supermarket. Well, for us, there's local supermarkets actually sell some of these,
right?
Or we have to go to like Total Wine, which is specialty, like supermarket of beers and wines and other spirits
and alcohols and everything else.
Yes.
But again, that's why we called it, outdoors brews and barbecue, right? Because we're not just going to be focusing here on beers, guys. We're going to be bringing in a little bit of everything as we go down.
Beers is a good amount of it.
Beer's a good portion of it because I love my beers. But every now and then, you gotta change over to a bourbon here and there, or a whiskey here and there, or maybe some moonshine if you want to go hardcore.
Oh, I love me a little moonshine.
Little moonshine's always good. And every now and then, let's get a little fruity with cocktails. I don't mind getting a little fruity with cocktails.
Drinking. I feel like everyone should enjoy themselves.
I know the wife makes some crazy fruity cocktails.
Amazing concoctions.
Mess you up real fast.
I know personally.
Yep.
All right. Well.
All right, guys. I think that's it for round one today. Thanks for joining us here at Outdoors, Brews, and Barbecue. Until the next one.
Take care.